Good evening, you filthy animals, and we are back for another informational video. Woo! So exciting. Anyway, so today, well, once this resets, we're gonna be able to do troop training video. But I bought some last week, so we're prepared. So I went through here already, and I put in my training drum right here. So training speed is up, and then I also went here to my talent points and reset my balance, so that way my training capacity is up, my training speed is up, and also I have my population surge. I can't talk today. That's a good sign. And then my training capacity and my training speed again. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So now you guys can see this right here. This was before I reset anything. So right now we're training 940 troops, 8 hours to do it. Well, actually it's more like 15 hours to do it. So you see that, and that's before my reset. So now to show you guys, we'll do this. And get these suckers out of here. And open some food. So train these guys. Now we're training almost 1,500 of these guys. So your numbers. Oh shoot! Didn't realize I was out of wood. We'll open some more. I got plenty. Okay, start training more of these guys. And hitting lots of random buttons today. That's a good sign. So, as you guys can see, you can get a lot farther if you reset all of this stuff, and my dumbass forgot to do this. It works a lot better if you have population surge if you actually use it. So, just things to remember from my mistakes. At least I haven't gotten any farther with that. So, and keep hitting wrong buttons. That's good. We're gonna train some of these T8s. I took a pretty gnarly hit the other day when I was attacking Core, the Korean Alliance, and so now I am trying to recover some troops. As you can see, I kind of messed myself up a little bit, so going through here and trying to get my numbers back up a little bit. So before this all happened, I had a good amount of everything, but now not so much. So anyway, I'm going to continue training until I'm out of speed up, so you guys see what I'm doing right now, and then I will come back and we will talk about some troop formations. Alrighty, and we're back. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of resources left. But anyway, so we trained up some troops, got a good amount of troops going here. Rebuild a lot after the losses that I've had. So now on to troop formations. Troop formations is kind of tricky. A lot of people say, well, I'm just going to send what I have, and that works. And at first, I understand that makes sense, but I would definitely recommend going in here and training a lot of different tiers of troops. As you can see, I'm only a C28, so I only have up to T9s. But I would definitely train a good amount of every troop type, so that way you can have different formations. So let's dig into some reports really quick. We'll start with this one since there was some losses on my side as well. Battle details. So, as you can see, there's a lot here to take in. But you can also see that I send a lot of different troop types. I send a lot of everything. So, here this guy, you can see that which things hit first, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, by that I mean this guy, he had his infantry, all of his wounded were his first two tiers, so his T9s and T8s he had wounded, and then the rest were complete losses. Same here, just losses. And then his distance, they hit and some survived, but then after that the rest were losses. And so on and so forth, where things just, you see which troops hit and attack first, and then you have your losses. And then right here, you can see he lost a lot of traps. Let's scroll up to me. You can see that my infantry, all they really do is they're there to kind of take the brunt of the attack. So a lot of these guys were wounded. Not many survived. But some of these guys were wounded right here. Some were lost. But for the most part, these are the guys that are doing most of your killing. Your cavalry and your distance. So you can see here your dragoons, cavalries, and all these guys are losses. And then the distance. If your infantry and your cavalry stays alive, your distance is just going to go in and they're just going to wreck shit. It's just simple facts of life. And they do work. They do great work. I love what they do. Okay, so we'll go on to this guy right here. This guy right here. Even my infantry was doing work here today. Went through. And you can see that your spearmen, you have your different types of troops. You have your gunners, and then you have your spearmen. Your spearmen are the ones that are going to take the brunt of your attack. And then you're going to have your gunners, which are right behind your spearmen. And then you have your cavalry rushing in. And as you can see, my cavalry had no losses whatsoever. And they will kill a lot. And they will take some more of the brunt of the attack. And then here's your distance in the background. Your background guys don't really get hit until everything else dies. And they go in and they clean house. They take out infantry, they take out cavalry. They're a great asset. And then this guy didn't really have any of his traps really hurt me at all. Well, this guy, his spearmen right here, they took the brunt of the attack, filled up his hospitals really quick. Same with his cavalry, filled up his hospitals. And you get down to his distance, and his hospitals were already full. So you can see that your top tier troops are the ones that are going to take the hit first. They're going to take the brunt of the hit, and they're going to end up wounded. So his cavalry and his infantry right here, top two, ended up in the hospital. The rest they got murked. They died. So that is just a few examples of what to do. Now, what do I do? Let's go in and look at this guy right here. This is something I'm going to be trying out. This is a mixture of the top 4 tiers that I have. This isn't something that I've shown in the battle reports. This is something I need to test out. But it's just the top 4. I go a little bit heavier on my distance, a little bit lighter on my infantry, and in the middle with my cavalry. I don't send a lot of artillery just because they don't need a lot to do a lot of damage to the traps, which is what they attack. And then here we start building up more. Of course, the distance is more cavalry and then infantry and so on and so forth. And then, so if you want to look at the ones that I've been using, it's this guy right here. And I go all the way down T1. And this is a very cut out, very easy to follow way of doing it. You do 250 of everything. All the way up to here. I think those are my T7s. So my T7s, I go up and I start doing more. And so here I have more on my distance right here. I added a little bit. And then go up to 1,000. And then once I get up to my T7s and my T8s and my T9s. My T8s right here, I send a lot of distance. Oh, I don't want to send that much distance. I lost a lot. You can tell that was where I lost. Oh. That's where I lost a lot of my distance troops, is because I attacked somebody and ended up being a very bad attack. So we'll throw a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Full. Okay, cool. So then, as you can see, we do add enough to make these guys just show that my infantry don't need a lot of it, but you just need enough to take the brunt of your attacks. And these guys all like that. So that's a pretty easy way of doing it. 250 up to your T7s, and then you add up to 1,000, maybe a little more on your distance if you like. And then once you get up to your T8s and then your T9s, and then you add more. Now, of course, if you're working with a castle level 22 and your highest level is T8s, then I'd recommend doing the same thing, where your T6s are the ones where you start adding up more. and then so on and so forth, higher or lower. That's just the way I would do things. The more troops you get with your marches, the more you can add to places. You could do more like 300 all the way down, and then 1,500, so on and so forth, just adding more and more to these guys' troops. Now this one here, I have set up for no artillery. This one's just basically if I don't see a guy with much traps, if I see a guy on a tile, or if this is something that I use a lot for KVK on the towers, if I'm hitting a tower, I go through and I don't send any artillery just because it's faster, and artillery are really only good for traps. So again, send a lot of distance, a good amount of cavalry. Infantry is the least that I send, but I do send a good amount. And then down here, send that, and so on and so forth. And this one I don't have cut out as well. I start off with 250, but then I just added more to my distance and my cavalry, and then we start going down, and we're back down to my 250 all the way down. So these are just some ideas, something to look at. You can see the reports that these guys are, which ones hit first and which ones don't hit first. So those are just some good pointers for what you should do. And here you go. This is what I was talking about. Here's your speed up packs. So you get about 600 of these speed ups, which is a great deal. I didn't have all 600 when I started the video because I had used some already before I started the video. So just so you guys can see what I was talking about, that's a great way to train. Like I said, don't forget about your training drum, your population surge like I did. Just make sure to use all of that. That's a great way to gain your troops back a lot faster. Also, do not slack off on your, I say that in my military tents are slacked off on. Everything's a little slacked off on out here. I did a big push up to C28. But, yes, make sure you keep your military tents up so you can train more troops at one time. Definitely helps out a lot. So, I think troop formations. I wish I could show you guys. Later, I will do a video for Underworld, and I will show you guys some good ways of doing some troop formations for Underworld, and also Red Guard. I'll get into that a little more depth. A lot of people send a lot of infantry for Red Guard, but your infantry don't do the most damage. As a side note, just so you guys know, I send more distance and cavalry and not as much or any artillery just because it slows down your march. So send less infantry and way more cavalry and distance for your Red Guards, so that way you get more damage out of it. Same kind of applies to Underworld. I'll try to do a video when we're online doing Underworld all at once, and that way you guys can kind of see, and we'll do some testing. We'll do some testing on the go, on the fly. I'll show you guys the different damage reports, so that way you guys can see everything you need to see. So we will do that, an Underworld video, do some more Red Guard formations. But for that, that's pretty much what I can tell you, what I know about formations. And as you can see, I've had some pretty good success with the way I've done it. Obviously, this guy got wrecked. This guy right here, I do a lot better with these formations now. I'll scroll past that. No one wants to see my numbers. But as you can see, your pikemen are the ones that are going to take the brunt of your damage, and then your musketmen, and so on and so forth. And then you guys can also see that your top tiers, starting with your infantry, then your cavalry, are going to be filling up your hospitals first, then your distance, and then your artillery. But if your hospitals fill up before that, that's the order it's going to be filled in. So these are the guys that take the brunt. So they'll go to the hospitals first. So just a good tip of information for you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, like, subscribe to the channel. Bite my ass. That's lovely. Wow. These guys are awesome. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, like, subscribe, and we will have some KVK content coming out in the next few days. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.